My recommendation is this. How many of you have had some kind of performance, speaking performance, public performance? Okay, how many of you here have been on a podcast? Okay, this is my recommendation. I go to these masterminds. Alan? I go to these masterminds. So I was down at a bug-free mastermind in Las Vegas like 3 or 4 months ago. And it's like this fucking elegant thing. You pay 5,000 American to be there. It's like 100 people. There's like, it's just like this week-long extravaganza. And the middle 3 days are speakers. And it's like, I'm saying, these aren't like small time speakers. This is like Roland Frazier and like Marianne Williamson was there. Like these are like, and then I go to Flight Club, which is like a $25,000 mastermind, and it's just 2 days of speakers. And then I'm at events like this, and there's speakers. And the thing that is mind-boggling to me is when a speaker doesn't film themselves. Doesn't film themselves. Like, it's happening now, right? Like, I am not Roland Frazier. I am not Marianne Williamson. But you will not find me not filming myself. You will not see it happening. And I will take that a step further. I will not do a podcast for someone else where I am not also filming myself. Like, I literally sit at my computer and do the podcast with these other people. And I have set up a camera to film myself doing my podcast with them because I don't want to depend on them for the production of my own content. Great, you're making a podcast episode. I'm your featured guest. Good for you. I'm filming and producing my own content from that interviewed segment. It's happening. So if I were you, I would not be ever doing a speaking event. I would not be ever doing a podcast. I would not be ever doing another interactive, interview-based, structured presentation of any kind without a camera turned on. Because this content that I'm producing now for you is literally the only reason I'm producing it for you. Or that's a lie. I want to be of value. But I don't have a sales pitch. I don't have a structured presentation to try to get your money. I don't honestly care about any of that. This is the output that I care about. Because what I can produce with this 50-minute or 60-minute segment from this camera and from these other cameras that I happen to own is more valuable to me than the stage time itself. Like, you guys are a wonderful audience. And I can have 100,000 more people see it because I have him filming it. Does that make sense? So the sponsorship fee is worth this alone. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah. I've never filmed a segment on UTM tracking. Great, now I have one. You know what I mean? Like, cool. There's a segment I'll never have to sit down and manufacture. How many of you have sat down? You're like, fuck, I need to do some social media. Someone told me to do some social media. And you're like, ugh, you get on your computer and you're like, what the fuck am I gonna write? You know, you're just like sitting there, you're like, inspiration, please strike me. For the love of God, I hope to be valuable to people. You know what I mean? You've all done it, don't lie, right? And so this is way easier, 1,000,000 times easier, just to take this. I have more content than I know what to do with. I couldn't publish all of it if I tried to. Like, 96% of my recorded content goes unused. 4% of it turned into 500 fucking videos.
Oh yeah, and you've got the audio that you can work with on things. You can pull stills off it. It's just
it's all photos. Yeah, the whole thing.
So when I first met Alexander at his workshop at SAIT last year, we were going through all of this, and from that point, you know, I have a networking group that I meet with every Wednesday, and of course we have 20-minute presentation times from time to time. So since that time, I had a video camera before, but it was a little cumbersome and converting, so I went out and got one that converts directly to M4A. When I speak, I go rent a Sennheiser mic from a wireless mic, so I can plug it into the camera. So set up the camera at the back of the room, and of course the lapel mic's live. And then out of that content, now I've got 20 minutes of content, and maybe I've got little ideas of the snippets that I can pull out, carve that into 4 different ideas or film pieces of content. And if I want, I can take that film content, throw the file and then get it converted to a podcast or text to use in other sources. So, yeah. And that was just from your first event.
Good.
Thank you.
You're a convert. Anyone else want to join the church? We're recruiting. I'll pass the what did they pass around? Tithing basket.